Joel and Lucy. Now I hand over to you for your presentations on UWA and to tell us about the education and research programs, fees and scholarships, student life and other details.
Thank you, Arif.
Thank you, Arif. So as you mentioned, my name is Joel Whitwer and I'm the International Agent Manager at the University of Western Australia. The University of Western Australia holds a special place in my heart as I'm a graduate of the school itself, as is my mother, my father and my brother. So you could say that it's in my blood. So thank you very much for StudyAustralia for hosting us today. And I look forward to talking to you about the University of Western Australia. Next slide, please, Rutwick. And next one, please. So the agenda today is that I'll talk a bit about the City of Perth and the University of Western Australia, how we're handling the unique situation that the world is in today with the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll also be talking about the structure of UWA and some of the programs. However, keep in mind that we are a comprehensive university and we do have hundreds of different programs and there's not time enough to go into them all today. However, if you do have specific questions about specific programs, we're more than happy to answer them during the Q&A later on. Rutwick will also be talking about the student experience at the University of Western Australia, as well as tuition fees and scholarships. Next slide, please. So UWA is located in Perth, Western Australia. So we are the capital city of Western Australia and we are about 2 million people. So there's everything that you'd expect of us in a city of that size. We're also the closest Australian capital city to the Maldives, making the time difference only 3 hours. Compare that to Sydney and Melbourne and that's significantly more convenient for students from the Maldives. We're also one of the top 10 healthiest cities in the world. So we're blessed with a very outdoor orientated city and environment, meaning that there's lots of things to do like cycling, swimming, sports and other activities. We're also Australia's most affordable capital city. So we represent excellent value for money when you compare us to the East Coast capitals of Australia. We're also a powerhouse of the Australian economy. We have the largest number of Australian Stock Exchange listed companies with headquarters in Perth, meaning that there's plenty of business orientated opportunities for our students to be involved in, such as internships and work integrated learning, which I'll talk about more later on. Despite being a capital city and a big city, we do have regional status. Now, this is important for students that want to seek a post-study work visa at the end of their studies in Australia. For other cities such as Brisbane, Melbourne, or Sydney, you would only get 2 years on your post-study work visa. However, because of Perth's specific status, you actually get 3 years on the post-study work visa, and we hope that that extra year enables you to experience working in Australia and add that to your resume. Next slide, please. So this is Elizabeth Quay. This is just, as you can see, down the road from the central business district of Perth. It's relatively new and there's lots of restaurants and things to do in this specific area. It's right on the Swan River and it's a beautiful place. It's about a 10-minute bus ride from the UWA campus, so we're quite conveniently located to this amenity. Next slide, please. This is Optus Stadium. So this is a brand new stadium that opened in 2018 in Perth. It has a maximum seating capacity of 70,000 and there's a number of different concerts and sporting events that take place there. It's actually Australia's best stadium as awarded by the building organisation. So you can see that it's connected by that bridge to the city itself. So it's quite central and adds to the livability of Perth. Next slide, please. Now this is Cottesloe Beach. So Western Australia is blessed with a long coastline and there's many pristine beaches such as this one. This is actually the closest beach to the University of Western Australia. So if the city is 10 minutes away from the University of Western Australia, this beach is another 10 minutes away in a westerly direction. So lots of students will do their classes and then go to the beach but after their classes or even between classes. So we're very well located for both study, for work, and for leisure activities. Next slide, please. So this little animal here is what is called a quokka. Now, a quokka is native to Rottnest Island, which is an island about half an hour off the coast of Perth. It's a holiday island where there's actually no cars allowed, only bicycles and pedestrians. So that's a really nice place to spend a weekend or even a week. Lots of snorkeling, outdoor activities, and even just a great place to unwind and relax. And you can talk to these friendly guys as well. Next slide. This is Kings Park. This is one of the largest urban parklands in the world and actually bigger than Central Park in New York. You can see the city in the background of this picture here, but on the other side is actually the University of Western Australia, whose campus backs into Kings Park pretty much. So again, the University of Western Australia is very well located within Perth itself, and it's part of the reason why our students enjoy studying with us so much. Next slide, please. But who is UWA and why study with us? So as Arif was saying, we were established in 1911 and moved to our current location in Crawley in 1913. We're ranked 86 in the world. So we're a top 100 university, and that's as a result of our world-class research and also our student experience. We're part of the group of 8 in Australia. And so that's 8 universities that are academically rigorous and research intensive. What this means practically for a student is when they're studying with us, they'll be studying with the thought leaders within their discipline, because they'll also be researchers as well. That being said, we're also highly practically minded in that 67% of all the majors at UWA incorporate a work integrated learning component. So that could include an internship, it could include advice from industry leaders, it could include mentorships, and we strongly believe that as most students will study with us wanting to lead to a career, and we believe that our courses prepare students for a lifelong career, not just their first job. We're also #1 in Australia for on-campus events and activities, where we're lucky enough to have an extensively large campus, which means that there's lots of events that take place on campus, which means that students don't just come to us and study with us, they come to us and socialise with us, which creates an excellent ambience on campus. Next slide, please. So this aerial photograph here shows you the UWA Crawley campus. You can see that to the north of our campus there is the UWA Health Campus. The UWA Health Campus is where a lot of the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences activities take place. And it's also where several university-associated hospitals are. Across the road from UWA is our residential colleges or hostels, and that's where students can apply to live while on campus. I myself lived on campus for 3 years, and it was an excellent complement to my UWA experience. There's 5 different residential colleges, all offering a slightly different experience for their students, and it's a great way to meet friends from all around the world, and there is a lot of support for our students at these colleges, both social, academic, and other sort of support. You can also see Kings Park, which I mentioned before, and the Perth Central Business District down the road. You can see there that our campus is quite large, and that means that from where the swimming pools are in the bottom right of that picture to where the top of campus is about a 20-minute walk, depending on how fast you can walk. So it is a very large campus, and a lot of students actually use bicycles to get around and minimize travel time. However, there is always 15 minutes between classes, so there is enough time to get to most places from most places on campus. Next slide, please. So at the moment, we're in the COVID-19 pandemic, and unfortunately what that means is that no international arrivals in Perth for the foreseeable future. However, Western Australia has managed the COVID-19 pandemic differently to other states in Australia, and we've benefited from that. So, for instance, we won't let travellers from other states of Australia into Western Australia unless there's a special exemption. As a result of that, as of Monday to this week, we only had 3 active cases in the country, in the state rather, and most of them are coming from overseas and interstate. So if you compare us to other places like Victoria and other countries, we're actually managing the pandemic quite well. And at this time, life is somewhat normal in Western Australia. And that is a testament to how the government here has managed the situation. Next slide, please, Rutwig. So the COVID-19 pandemic has necessitated that we do things a little bit differently for our students, and particularly for our students overseas. So while semester 2 has started at UWA and most of our classes are in person again, for our international students, they'll be studying with us online, and we're trying to make that online experience as enriching for them as possible to make sure that they have as little disadvantage as possible just because they're not on campus at the moment. So Rudwig's just going to press play on a little video that demonstrates one of these online learning experiences.
My name is Anas Gedwani. I'm Professor of Environmental Engineering, and I have this little setup that I made myself, in fact, just yesterday to get myself organized so I can engage with my students. Well, hello guys, so welcome and thank you all for joining this live broadcast for ecological engineering. And we're going to make sure that we interact as if we were in the classroom in eZone. Really excited about what the technology allows us to do. There's a lot more than I actually anticipated. And I think we can achieve the full engagement through this approach. I can see some of you have some interesting, backgrounds there. Whoever the cutest puppy or the cutest cat that you show me on camera, you will get a roll of toilet paper. I think what's really important to stress is that we're in all of this together. So please be kind to each other and be patient. Hey, Alan, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now? I think it's really important that we keep communicating and we keep connected, even if we have to practice social distancing. I think connection is another thing that we continue to have, and I think that's great.
Okay, so that's just what one of our lecturers in one of our faculties is doing, but we've got a few other systems in action at the moment to make sure that students are supported and their experiences enriched, including UWA EduFlex, which is the downloading of the lectures that are recorded. We've got the Blackboard learning management system, which is not just the recorded lectures and tutorials, but also discussion forums and unit materials. So it's like a landing page for each individual subject that a student studies, so they can have access to all the information, but also be able to interact with students in those units. Microsoft Teams is software that we use so that students can chat to each other, have group discussions, share files, and collaborate more fluidly with each other to hopefully emulate an in-person experience. We also use Azure Labs, which is connecting to a workstation on campus in a lab so that the students can access the specialist software that they require to complete their practical work as part of their course. There's also remote access to UWA files through the UniDrive system and our VPN, a virtual private network, UniConnect, which makes their computer on our network. We're hoping that all of this technology enables students to successfully study with us online and successfully progress as part of their course. Next slide, please, Rudwig. We know that it's not just about technology, we also have in-person support, and that's provisioned through Studiosity, which is a live chat where they can ask a study question, get feedback on assignments, and get similar support they would as if they were on campus at UWA. We also have LinkedIn Learning, which complements the UWA experience with learning modules on how to use the software, but also how to do career-based skills like writing a resume and those kind of things. Our Study Smarter team provides support on virtually any aspect of study, from writing assignments to maths to statistics to giving feedback on written work. And that's at any level. So anyone from an undergraduate to a postgraduate to a PhD student can access their services and get feedback and feel more confident in their studies. We're hoping with the technology and the in-person support combined, we can put forward an attractive learning experience where students can start online, and then when borders open up again, they can enter UWA and be on track for their studies with confidence. Next slide, please. So UWA is comprised of 4 faculties, each with some schools underneath it. The first is the Arts, Business, Law and Education faculty, or the ABLE faculty for short. Now the schools underneath, the next faculty is the Health and Medical Sciences faculty, the Engineering and Mathematical Sciences faculty, and then there's the Science faculty. So we only have 4 faculties, but underneath each is a number of schools. I won't read out all of these schools, but these schools will give an indication of the type of academics we have on campus and the type of subjects that we offer. As I said before, we are a comprehensive university, so we do offer most disciplines. Particularly in our science and engineering science, we're very comprehensive. And one of the best things about UWA, particularly at the undergraduate level, is the flexibility in study. Most of our students will take 2 majors. There's no extra time to their 3-year undergraduate degree, and there's no extra cost. Now, we've designed these degrees to be very flexible. So for instance, a student might be enrolled in the Bachelor of Arts taking a major in history, but they could also be taking a second major in data science. And so with all of our majors and all of our schools, there's virtually infinite combinations of majors that students can take. Now, alongside these faculties and schools are the Graduate Research School, which is responsible for the higher degree by research students. So that's our PhD students and Masters by Research students. And then there's the School of Indigenous Studies, and that is responsible for not just teaching about the Indigenous culture of Australia, but also pastoral care for the Indigenous students that enrol at the University of Western Australia. Next slide, please, Rutwig. So the first faculty I'll talk about more is the Faculty of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences. So this faculty is a faculty that offers undergraduate courses under the Bachelor of Science, and those undergraduate majors include data science, computer science, physics, and engineering science. So unlike other universities you might be looking at, UWA has a unique structure for engineering, which comprises of a 3-year undergraduate degree majoring in engineering science, followed by a 2-year Master of Professional Engineering. So in the 3-year undergraduate degree, the student will study general engineering concepts, and they'll specialize into one of 8 different streams, which include software engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, mining engineering, chemical engineering, and others that I've probably forgotten at the moment. But the important thing about the engineering and mathematical sciences faculty is that we are leaders in certain areas, such as 7th in the world for marine and ocean engineering. This is partly because in Western Australia, we're an oil and gas hub, meaning that we have many different offshore platforms that require specialist engineering techniques. Because of these techniques, we've become thought leaders and research leaders in the world. It also speaks well to our links with our large mining companies. So for instance, if Woodside Engineering needs help with an engineering problem that they have for one of their offshore platforms, often they'll come to us for our expertise. And as a result, they actually sponsor chairs in the faculty for our academics and increases the link that UWA has with industry. We're also 5th in the world for mining and mineral engineering. So Western Australia being 1/3 of Australia roughly, and having lots of minerals and mineral wealth under its soil, we've become very good at getting it out of the ground. And as a result, we've got, again, very strong links. We're 19th in the world for environmental science and engineering. So it's not just about getting things out of the ground, but also making sure that our impact on the environment is as minimal as possible. Next slide, please, Rutwig. Health and Medical Sciences. So the undergraduate degree that this faculty offers is the Bachelor of Biomedical Science, and that includes majors like neuroscience, biomedical science, medical sciences. So just a quick word on how medicine and dentistry work at UWA. Typically, it's a 3-year undergraduate degree followed by a 4-year Doctor of Medicine or a 4-year Doctor of Dental Medicine. So it is a graduate entry program. However, high achieving students can get what we call a direct pathway, which is a 3-year undergraduate degree followed by a 3-year doctor degree, and that reduces the length of the degree by 1 year. The Health and Medical Sciences faculty is actually where our 2 Nobel Prize winners are, Dr. Barry Marshall and Dr. Robin Warren. Those 2 discovered the Helicobacter pylori stomach bacteria, which is actually responsible for a lot of stomach cancers and ulcers, and they won the Nobel Prize for that. There's a lot of other expertise within the faculty, and as a result, we're 8th in the world for clinical medicine. But we also have the School of Population Health and Global Health, as well as the School of Allied Health, which includes things like podiatry, pharmacy, infectious diseases. So we are quite comprehensive in medical sciences. Next slide, please, Ludwig. Our Arts, Business, Law and Education faculty is probably our faculty with the most breadth. So of particular attention is the business school. Now, our business school is EQUIS and AACSB accredited. What that means is that the degrees are recognised in Europe and in North America, making this a truly global degree if you study with us in that school. So that the business school offers the Bachelor of Commerce, and there's a number of different majors you can take within that school, including accounting, business law, economics, finance, human resource management, marketing, and professional economics. The faculty is more than just the business school. We obviously offer everything you'd expect a top 100 university to offer, such as archaeology, history, performing arts under the university, the UWA Conservatorium of Music, as well as more obscure subjects such as Korean and sociology. Next slide, please, Rodrigo. Science is a particular focus of the University of Western Australia, and as you can see there, we're 18th in the world for agricultural science and top 50 for biological sciences, ecology, and oceanography. Now, there are other majors within the Bachelor of Science, including chemistry, botany, genetics, geographical science, geology, marine, psychological science, science communication, and sports science. So it's a very diverse faculty. And the Bachelor of Science, most of those students will take a double major, meaning that they'll take a science major and possibly another science major, but quite often they might actually do, say, physics and a language as their other major. And that just speaks to how flexible our undergraduate degree structure is. Next slide, please, Ridley. Alongside the faculties, we have the Graduate Research School. And so this is useful for students who wish to pursue a master's degree by research or a Doctor of Philosophy. As mentioned before, we are a member of the Group of 8 institutions, and we are known for our research. So the research experience at UWA is world-class, but it's also very intensive. So many students will apply for us to PhDs, but not have the adequate research background. And because of the background, we often refer them to what's called the High Degree by Research Preliminary Program, which is an extra year onto the 3-year PhD course, which is designed to prepare them for the rigors of a PhD program. Most of our PhDs are interdisciplinary, meaning that there's multiple supervisors and there's multiple schools involved. We truly believe that the problems of the 21st century will be multidisciplinary in nature, and therefore they will require multidisciplinary solutions. So it's a great place to not only do your higher degree by research, but also broaden your understanding of other disciplines. And there is a lot of research that's done with industry on real world problems and finding real world solutions for them. Next slide, please, Rodwink. So at UWA, we offer a number of different pathways to get to us. So not everyone will be qualified with the qualifications that they hold in order to get into UWA directly and receive an offer from us directly. We offer a number of different pathways to come to us at UWA. The first is the University of Western Australia Foundation Program. This is a foundation program which is equivalent to our final year of high school. This is undertaken at Taylor's College, which is a college that is down the road from UWA in a suburb called Claremont. It's about a 5-minute drive from the University of Western Australia. This college is small and it enables students to get the intensive preparation they need to succeed in a University of Western Australia degree program. At this college, we also offer the Diploma of Commerce and the Diploma of Science. These diplomas are for students that might not qualify for our direct entry, but their marks aren't so low or their qualifications aren't so low that they have to do the foundation program. The Diploma of Commerce and the Diploma of Science actually represent the first year of the Bachelor of Commerce and the Bachelor of Science respectively. So they'll articulate to UWA with a year of credit, meaning that their bachelor's program will only be 2 years long after they complete that diploma. Next slide, please. So the UWA Foundation program has several intakes and several different styles. So there's the extended, the advanced, and the standard. Your admission into each will depend on the grades that you hold and the qualifications that you hold. But depending on which program you enter, you have a different time period where you need to be at Taylor's College and then a different start time at UWA. That also means that if you are unsuccessful in your studies at Taylor's College for whatever reason, you might miss your nominated intake, but there'll always be an opportunity to catch up at Taylor's College, achieve the marks that you need, and then join UWA in a later intake. Students enjoy studying at Taylor's College because of the intensive attention that they get. It's a mix between, I would say, high school and university studies in that the content is at the university level. However, the attention and intensity of teaching is probably more like high school. And so the students are better prepared because they are more directed and the teaching is more intense. Next slide, please. Next one. So the diploma programs provide 12 months, so 1 year of credit towards the UWA degree, and students need to achieve at least 50% in all 8 units of their study to successfully complete the diploma. As I said before, like the foundation program, the class sizes are small, and the duration of the program is actually shorter than a year, depending on the student's achievement in their high school or whatever qualification they hold. Next slide, please. So you can see here the intake dates and the duration for the diploma programs, as well as the English language requirements to enter the diploma programs. So just on English language, the entry into most undergraduate programs at UWA is an IELTS of 6.5 with no band below 6. You can see that the diploma program actually has a requirement of 6.0 with no band below 5.5. And this is because the diploma is intense in its delivery, and therefore students will get up to the appropriate English language level by the time they are ready to enter UWA. So it's not just for the students that aren't academically prepared, but also for those that might need a bit more help with their English language competency. And next slide. And at this point, I'll hand over to Rudwig to cover student life.
Thanks, Joel. Hi, and good afternoon, everyone in Maldives. My name is Rudwig, and I'm the Senior Regional Manager. I look after the South Asia region. And just like Joel, I'm also a graduate of this university. I've spent good 2 years studying at UWA, as well as working and living in Perth. So I have a very well-rounded experience that I can share along the way. Covering on student life at UWA, we have different opportunities for students to be part of volunteering, sports. I'll also touch base quickly on the work integrated learning options that we offer, including study abroad and accommodation on campus as well as off campus. So in a nutshell, we have close to 150 clubs and societies that students run and you can be part of. There are also on an average 1,200 events that happen over a 12 months period, so per year. And we have more than 200 plus community organizations. Moving on to sports related and recreation center, we have an exclusive gymnasium on campus. We also have different sports facilities like tennis courts, basketball courts, badminton courts. We have our own water sports complex because we are situated close to the river. So in case if I'm coming from Maldives, I'm sure you love to be involved with water related activities. So we have like snorkeling and all of the different like kite surfing, etc., that happen very close to the campus that you can enjoy while you are studying at UWA. Moving on to work integrated learning, we have placements that are built into the course structure. As an example, if you are studying a bachelor's degree in commerce, we have a business practicum wherein you can be part of a project where you work for a real organization on an approved project and you get a credit back into your bachelor's degree. Similarly, at the master's level, if you're coming in to study for the program, say Master of Professional Engineering, there's a 3 months of full-time professional practicum that is built into the course structure, where you get an opportunity to undertake some kind of internship with one of the real life organization for a life project as well. So that's the kind of opportunities that we offer when you're studying at UWA. Similarly, a lot of industry professionals come regularly on campus to deliver expert talks, and that's where you get an opportunity to interact with a number of industry professionals, develop networks, and possibly help you to find your first employment after you graduate. We also have an exclusive career center, which has a number of different opportunities that you can be part of, including workshops like preparing your resume, building your LinkedIn profile, and also how would you prepare yourself for the interviews as you are about to graduate, and so on. The Career Center also runs Careers Fair twice a year, where we have more than 100 companies who come on campus and offer an opportunity to interact with students who are about to graduate. So there's a lot of activities that are happening on campus as part of your student life. So just quickly, I would like to give the facilities for students to live on campus. We have 5 residential colleges. One of them, as you can see, is University Hall, and we offer catering facilities as well if you're living on campus. So you can pick up a package, let's say 7 meals a week, or 14 meals a week, or 21 meals a week, which includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's readily available while you're living on campus. It's only 3 to 5 minutes walking distance from your faculties that you're studying in. So University Hall is one of them. Then St. George's College is another place where you can live on campus. Similarly, we also have off-campus accommodations. This is pretty much in the heart of the city, called Campus Perth, and you can have a shared accommodation option available. Off-campus accommodations usually work out relatively cheaper than on-campus accommodation. An average cost of living on campus is about $15,000 per year. But as if you plan to go for off-campus living, the cost varies between $10,000 to $15,000 a year. On campus, we have lots of restaurants. As you can see, there are popular names that you are aware of. So students do, when they have breaks during their lectures, they come out to one of these restaurants, pick up their lunch, and then go back to their classes, and so on. So there's plenty of options available for food when you're on campus. Moving on to scholarships, one of the most important things that we have for students from Maldives. We have two types of scholarships. One is called postgraduate scholarships, global excellence. This is offered for students who are coming for a master's program, which are typically 2-year duration, and students who have achieved prerequisite grades. We have 4 different slabs of $5,000 scholarship per year, $8,000 scholarship per year, $10,000 scholarship per year, and $15,000 scholarship per year. So let's assume if you are coming for a Master of Commerce and you have a grade of 90%, you are likely to get a scholarship of $15,000 a year, or for a 2-year Master of Commerce, it will be $30,000 in total of the tuition fee. Similarly, we also offer scholarship for undergraduate programs as well. As an example, our cutoff for A-levels is for a best 3, it's 8 points, but then we have scholarships starting from 10 points. Students get $5,000 a year. 12 points, they get $8,000 a year. 14 points, they get $10,000 a year. And if a student has 15 points in A-levels, they will be eligible for $15,000 scholarship per year. Now, any bachelor's degree at UWA is typically a 3-year program. So if you're looking for a scholarship of $45,000 over a 3-year period, that's the maximum that we offer. One more important thing to note is there is no separate application process to claim for a scholarship. Every application we receive will be assessed against the scholarship criteria and will be awarded accordingly. We allow students to conditionally accept the offers if their results are pending, and we can help you with acceptance process if you let us know when you're expecting the results. I'm also going to show you the semester start dates, which are for the February 2021 intake. The orientation week is scheduled between 15 to 19 February, and the semester start date is 22nd February 2021. If you're looking for July intake next year, the orientation week is between 19 to 23rd of July, and the course starts on 26th July. So these are the 2 standard intakes UWA has for both bachelor's and master's degrees. If you're looking for a research program, there is no standard intake. So students can apply for a master's by research or a PhD at any time of the year. Moving on to tuition fees, on an average, if you're looking for an undergraduate programs, our tuition fees vary between $32,000 per year to $38,000 per year. If you're looking for a postgraduate programs, the scholarships vary, the tuition fees vary anywhere between $36,000 per year to $40,000 per year. We will also need you to provide your English language competency. For example, if you were to apply for a bachelor's or master's program, we need a minimum score of 6.5 with no bands below 6. Similarly, we also accept TOEFL like IELTS, and these are the required bands individuals as well. These are also available online for you to refer to. I've got a video of UWA that I would like to share with you all, and then we can open the platform for Q&A. So just have a look at this video first, please. So that's about it. Thank you very much for your time, and over to you, Arif.
Thank you very much, Joel and Rutvik. That was quite comprehensive. We will actually go for questions after the next presentation.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce Amnat Hidayat from Study Australia. Study Australia is the Maldivian branch of the education agency, Training Australia. Hida, I hand over to you now.
Thank you, Arif. Let me just share the screen first. So thank you, Arif, and good afternoon to everyone, and everyone who has joined for today's webinar. I will be giving you a brief introduction about Study Australia, the services we provide here at Study Australia. My name is Hida, and I'm one of the education counselors based in Maldives, representing Study Australia. As Arif has mentioned, Study Australia is the Maldivian branch of the Australian education agency, Training Australia, which is based in Perth. Our main objective or mission is to provide and disseminate information to and opportunities provided in Australia, the education opportunities provided in Australia, UK, and Malaysia to all those who are inquiring. We also offer education, counseling, and application management services to those who are inquiring, and as all of our activities are funded by our partner institutes, we do not charge any amount from the students, and so all our services are free of charge. So talking about our services, I'll be covering just few of them as 6 of the services that we provide. And one very important one is the career guidance and awareness and university selection and application management. Here at Study Australia, we have QEAC approved qualified education counselors who can assist university application, and also career guidance as well. And for the university application, once you make an inquiry about a course, so if you have decided on a field of course that you want to do your bachelor's or master's degree on, then we will give you a number of options from the city that you have selected. Maybe you already have a city or a choice of a city that you want to go, or even if it is based on a rank of the universities and the field of studies, we can provide that information based on your requirements. So in addition to that, we also assist in travel and accommodation management and student life and employment guidance as well. As we have agents based in Maldives and also in Perth, this will be, we can assist in providing personalized services from face-to-face assistance if needed, even if it is in Perth or in Male itself. And this can be really helpful if you are traveling to Perth, or if you're traveling to Australia for the first time. A familiar face in Australia will be really helpful for you. And 2 of our newly introduced services are include providing assistance for government and student loan application, and the BML student loan and the government student loan application. So if you have already received the government student loan, we will be more than happy to assist you with understanding your next steps to securing a placement, and understanding how much, calculating for you the difference that you need to pay from your pocket if you want to go to Australia. And if you have plans to apply for the BML student loan you can assist, we can assist with all the documentation, and we can provide an assistance up to the decision that you make, and help you make an informed decision. So you have, feel free to reach out to us if you require any of the services I mentioned. Yeah, and talking about the education sectors, here we have highlighted 6 sectors based on the inquiries that we have received in the past. So this is more related to, maybe targeted to the Maldivian market. So I'll be giving a short introduction of each of the sectors. mentioned here: the university education, technical vocational education and training, study tours and exchange programs, English languages studies pathway programs, and the study tours, the upskilling courses. Yeah. So the first one is university education. So in Australia, Australia is one of the world's most well-known destination for international students. The country is known for its top-ranked universities, and they also provide. They also have a very global, international environment, a safe environment, which attracts more international students. And the country has a national set of qualifications that are endorsed by the Australian government. This means that there is a national and international recognition of each qualification. So Study Australia has partner universities from different cities in Australia. So we are focusing on Perth and UWA today. In today's session, we do have partners from all around Australia. And if you have plans to pursue your graduate or postgraduate studies in Australia, we can assist in identifying not only the best university for you, but also understand the scholarship opportunities that these universities provide for an international student. So based on your nationalities, we can assist you. Moving on to the second education sector, the pathway programs. The pathway programs are something. So if you believe you don't have the entry, you don't meet the entry requirements to do a bachelor's degree or master's degree or a bachelor's degree, then you can embark on one of the pathway programs. So these can range from university foundation program and certificate and diploma courses. Same as Joel mentioned in his presentation, there are different institutes that provide these foundation and pathway programs that can give you direct entry into the second year of the university's bachelor's program. Yeah. And then the third one is technical and vocational education and training, TVET courses. So if you're interested in taking a short break from work and do an upskilling course to maybe, let's say, even if it is part of your organization's requirement, or even if it is for your personal development, you can embark on one of these vocational courses. These are provided by registered training organization RTOs that include technical and further education institutes and private colleges in Australia. And these qualification range from certificate 2 to advanced diploma as well. So these courses provide more in a practical sense, more than the bachelor's or the university programs. These are more practical, and it can be, you can embark on one of these courses right after you finish your higher education. So this can be how you can kickstart your career as well, or give it a little boost if you are currently working. And now the fourth one I'll cover is the English language courses. So Australia is an ideal place, as everyone knows, Australia is an ideal place to do your English language ELICOS courses. So there are different types of English language courses they provide from different institutes. And if you plan to do a short-term English course, or even a long-term one prior to doing your bachelor's degree or master's degree, we can assist with identifying the best course that can suit based on your, let's say, career needs, or if it is for academic qualification, academic work. And one of the advantage of doing English language course in Australia is even if you want to do a short-term course, if you want to travel to Australia for a short-term course, so less than 3 months, you can go on a tourist visa and complete this one of these English language courses and come back. And being surrounded by people who speak English as their first language, it will be a really big advantage for you. Yeah, and then the sector is primary and secondary education. Australia provides one of the best education opportunities for children, which is diverse. Because it has a diverse population, they have private and public schools available for international students. So if you have plans to study or a postgraduate course, and if you want to move to Australia with your family to do the course, if you have kids who are attending primary or secondary education, they can be enrolled in one of the public school free of charge. But though you don't want to study, and if you want to enroll your student, if you're living outside of Australia, and if you're interested in choosing a different type of education for your children, maybe it can be a bit different, since let's say in Maldives, our first language is not English. So if you want to move to Australia and give a little bit different kind of education to your children, we can assist with that as well. Let's say along with the students enrollment, the parents, one of the parents can get a guardian visa to travel and stay with the student for the duration of the student's education. So this can be an advantage for the parent as well. So when they travel, maybe they can work, and they can maybe do a short course in Australia too. But even if you are not traveling with your child, we can still assist in sending, making arrangements for the child and getting them enrolled in a public school. And then there are the upskilling courses. The upskilling courses are provided by in Australia are short and can be an investment to your career. And there are courses like leadership and management courses, hospitality and tourism courses as well. And these courses can boost your career, or can be how you discover what you want to do. So if you are in a midst of jumping from one career to the other, and you want to understand what you are good at, you can do one of short upskilling courses and see what you are really, what your positive points are. And the study tour and exchange program is something we cater, we provide to those, these are short and tailored courses and training programs for small groups. So if you're a group of teachers, or if you're currently working in an organization, and it is, let's say, a requirement from your human resource department, we can arrange small tours to Australia to understand their working environment, and like get the best practices from them. So these can be vacation programs or corporate study tours as well. And now the most important part, benefits of studying in Australia. Australia provides numerous opportunities for international students, as I mentioned before, and it is culturally diverse. It has safe and a multicultural living environment, and they have high quality education, which with top ranked universities. Even UWA is one of the top ranked universities, which comes in the top 100 universities in the world. And as I highlighted before, it is the number one reason for choosing Australia is you can you can work and earn while you're studying as well. So this is a really positive point for a lot of international students, as this will be very cost effective while you stay there. And something I mentioned before, free schooling for children, for those who are undertaking a postgraduate or above courses. And then there is the internship opportunities. Each course comes, most of the bachelor's course comes with internship, an internship requirement, and these internship opportunities can be from top companies in Australia, ranging from Microsoft to different research companies that you might not be able to like experience in other countries. And then there's the graduate visa. And the graduate visa is if you have you have completed a 2 years course in Australia, then you will be eligible for a 2 years graduate visa, through which during which time you can try to get let's say permanent work, or you can get experience while you stay in during which you can work as well and get experience, which will be good for your CV, and when you come back home, this can be a plus point as well. Yeah. And moving on from benefits, let me conclude by telling why you should choose Study Australia to like why you should choose Study Australia to get all this information and help with your getting your placement. We have qualified agents, QAIC approved qualified agents, and we have assistance from both sides. I am here in Maldives while we have other agents in Perth as well. So this is also a plus point for you, and there is no cost for students for the services what we provide. As I mentioned before, all the costs are covered by our partner institutes. So we won't be charging anything from you for the services that we are providing. So that's all from me. If you have any queries, or if you need any information, you can just contact me from the number here, or else you can just ask after this session as well. Thank you, Arif.
Thank you very much, Shida. Now we have come to the Q&A segment. I've got a few questions. They are to Joel and Rutik. The first question is, what's the application process for research-based programs for masters and PhDs?
So first of all, the student will need to reach out to the faculty research coordinator, and they'll put in writing a summary of their background, their research experience, and what they wish to study. The research coordinator will then look at the capacity of the researchers in their faculty to take on more students. So the potential student might have already identified a research that they really want to work with, but unfortunately that researcher might not always have the capacity to take on the student. After the capacity has been identified and a good fit has been identified, the student will then be invited to lodge an application, and that application will be lodged, and as part of that process is the scholarship application. So one thing I neglected to mention in my presentation was that many of our PhD students have some form of scholarship, and that can be just a small tuition scholarship to full expense scholarship. It really depends on the student's background, what they are studying, and the funds available in that particular research cluster. Once the student receives an offer and a scholarship offer, they can then accept the offer and enroll in the PhD program. As Rutwik mentioned, there's no set start dates for PhD or master degree by research. They can begin when it suits them and when it suits their supervisor.
Thanks. The other question is, if students have done a bachelor's degree in law in the Maldives, what's the process for applying for masters in international law?
So they'd be able to lodge an application through the Study Australia office. That office has access to our online application system. They will require a few main things. The first is a completed application form, which Study Australia can assist with. The second is a copy of academic transcripts issued by the Maldivian institution. And the third is evidence of English language competency. Now, I believe that for the Master of Laws, the English language competency requirement, the IELTS requirement, is higher than our standard courses because of the intensity of language used within law. Can you remember the exact IELTS band is required?
Yeah, it's overall 7 with no bands below 6.5 is the requirement.
In addition to that, will there be any screening process? If the entry, the entry requirement, whether the entry requirement meets for the master's program?
So sorry, I was muted there. So the admission requirement for the Master of Law is that they need, and if it's the Master of Law, that's just our standard 1-year Master of Law, they need a Juris Doctor or Bachelor of Law or equivalent as recognised by UWA admissions. And for that particular course, it's just a pass mark. But keep in mind that other courses that we offer require a slightly higher GPA in undergraduate studies in order to be admitted.
Thanks. The other question is, what are the options for enrolled students if they can't travel due to the border closure?
Do you want me to take this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So what's happened as we just wrapped up the July intake for international students is most of them are currently taking classes online, and they are in touch with through the different platforms that we offer for digital supported learning. The Australian government has come up with a new policy very recently where if a student is studying online for a semester and then if they end up getting into Australia for a face-to-face study in February intake, that period of studying online will be counted towards the post-study work visa. So that's one of the benefits of not delaying the current study plans that students have.
I have one final question. Could you please give us some details of flexibilities or alternate arrangements and the facilities at UWA for students having young children?
Sure. So the first thing I'll mention is the housing support that we give students. So we do have dedicated student services that will help students look for housing that will suit their specific needs. Obviously, the on-campus hostels are not suitable for students with families, but the university does own several properties around the university that are available for postgraduate students and specifically research students, because we often find that research students are a bit older and they come to UWA to do their PhD, and they will require specific housing. The other thing that Western Australia offers is free schooling for children of these students, postgraduate students, and that's significantly more competitive than our Eastern States colleagues, because in those states, the students will need to pay for that schooling. There's also childcare facilities at UWA for students with children that are not of school age, and yeah, that's what I can think of at the moment. But if there are specific services, I can speak to them.
Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the webinar. We thank all the participants who joined via Zoom, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, a big thank you to all the panelists, especially Joel and Lutvik, for your time and contributions. A recorded version of this webinar will be available on our Facebook page. We look forward to seeing you in our future webinars. Good luck and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.